Here in southern Africa, the rains have failed for the second year in a row. The land is parched, crops have been decimated, livestock are dying, people are going hungry. It's a picture repeated across 10 countries in the region, where around 40 million people will likely need emergency assistance before the year is out. The cause? El Nino, a cyclical feature of our climate system that causes the Pacific Ocean to warm and triggers abnormal weather conditions across the world. The 2015-16 instalment was one of the strongest on record, and it's causing havoc in southern Africa. CSIS saw the impact for itself in June, during a visit to Mozambique and Malawi. As always, the poorest have been hardest hit, and there's particular concern for two especially vulnerable groups, children and people living with HIV. Both groups can get sick very quickly if they don't get enough food, and the right kind of food. Governments in the affected countries are struggling to cope with this crisis. The United States is helping, along with other donors. These communities in southern Mozambique receive vouchers they can exchange for food. These efforts have already saved lives.
But
support isn't reaching all those who need it. Humanitarian appeals are massively underfunded. Even those who receive assistance can barely sustain themselves because, as this woman explained, food prices are climbing, reducing the value of their vouchers. And the worst is yet to come. Many of the hardest hit parts of southern Africa won't see another harvest until next spring, and that's assuming the weather cooperates. People in this part of Africa are used to coping with the tough conditions, but increasingly erratic weather patterns, exacerbated by climate change, are putting immense strain on households. Aid agencies are trying to build resilience among communities vulnerable to natural disasters and food shocks. Dorothy Namula and her family are among those to benefit from one such project, run by the US Agency for International Development in Malawi's Balaka district. Fides Kasamale is a nutrition assistant in USAID's Feed the Future project in Dorothy's district. He tries to get farmers to grow a more diverse array of crops. He says changing behaviour takes time, but his efforts are starting to pay off.
And I expect this year we will have a lot of people growing different crops like the soya, the groundnuts, maize of course, sorghum, and not only the crops, even the keeping of livestock in their homes.
The aim is that families like Dorothy's will get the tools and know-how to grow a wider variety of crops and achieve higher yields. Not only will the food they produce offer a more diverse diet that keeps them healthy, it will provide a regular surplus that can be sold at the market. But it's hard work to sustain livelihoods in the face of these repeated shocks. Breaking the cycle of crisis will require governments in the region to prioritise policy reform to strengthen markets and incentivise change. Greg Collins helps countries build up their resilience capacities.
And the great thing is we're starting to see good examples of country-led efforts that we can point to. So when I was in Malawi, a lot of what I talked to the government about was what Kenya had done, what Ethiopia has done, even what the government in Niger is doing to own this risk and get ahead of recurrent crisis, to deal with it proactively.
Positive change won't be easy and it won't come overnight. But it is possible with the commitment of host governments and the assistance of international partners like the United States, not only to meet today's crisis, but to prevent tomorrow's from occurring.